Well, all right, guys. Good morning, or whenever you're listening to this. So I am once again headed out for some errands, so I thought I would do another one of these car videos. And my water bottle just went flying. I thought I'd do another car video. Really liked the last one, so I thought it went pretty cool. And I do have another thought. Surprise, surprise. So, my thought for this morning is the different type of students. So as I've mentioned previously, I have taught in many different realms, and I've noticed three consistent type of students throughout my education career. That doesn't just mean in higher ed. That could also be, the martial arts or music or whatever that I talked about before. So you probably fit into one of these three categories. So I'm going to go over the three, and then I'm going to tell you where I fit in, because I'm all about being candid with you guys and open and honest. So let's talk about the three. Now, I'm sure there are subtypes. This is just what I have found, okay? I started noticing this mostly in the martial arts because it's very apparent and very obvious, but this definitely bleeds over to all the other realms that I've taught in. The first type of student is the kind of student that has all talent and no heart. And what I mean by that is they are just naturally gifted at whatever they are doing. So maybe they have never ever trained before, or they've never adjusted before, like in the chiropractic world. And they just are very, very natural. Now, that's cool that they have a lot of skill. We see that in sports too, right? Like you see those people who are just skilled, but they don't have the heart. So the first time that they lose or the first time that they mess up, they have a tendency to kind of just throw their sucker in the dirt and quit. Or, they can't really stick it out whenever times are tough. Now, you can't fault people like this. We all have our pros and cons, right? So it's kind of hard to point at this person and say, man, you're just weak, like you just give up. They have to learn how to not be good at something and how to come back from that. So there's some pros and there's cons, right? I mean, they're naturally really good at doing whatever skill, but the con being that whenever times are tough, they can't really stay long term, or they can't see it through, or have difficulty doing so. The second type of student is the type of student that has all heart and all talent. Now, that is a rare combination. That's a rare breed. The person with all heart is really giving it their all. Like they are consumed by whatever they're doing. They're totally obsessed. Let's say that they're trying to learn piano. They want to spend all of their time learning the piano. They've got nothing but heart. They just want to keep going. But then they also have a lot of natural talent, just God-gifted ability to where they are just good. That doesn't mean they're good at everything, but they're good at that thing. Now, that also comes with a set of pro and con. The pro being that they have a lot going for them. They want to work hard, and they're really, really good at whatever skill they're trying to do. That's a pro. The con is that you have to be careful that that doesn't consume your life. Let's say that you really, really love football, and you're really, really good at football. If all you ever do or talk about or eat, breathe, sleep is football, then the rest of your life can suffer around you. Maybe if you're married, your spouse is not getting the attention that they need because you want to go hang out with the boys every Friday night and watch football. Or something to that effect, to where you start to put away all the other important things in your life because that begins to trump it. So there's definitely pro and con there too. The last student is the student that has no talent or even negative talent, but all heart. And that's the kind of student that has to work for everything that they do, and nothing really seems to be natural. So the pro and cons with this one. Let's start with the cons. The con with this one is that it can be really frustrating to teach somebody like this, because no matter how hard they work at it, they just can't seem to quite nail it or can't seem to quite get there. And they get really, really frustrated, both student and instructor. And it can take them months for something to catch on. The pro is that they will really work diligently to make it happen. They are going to run after this skill or run after whatever they're trying to achieve, and they will give it all. Even in the midst of adversity, they'll continue to push through. So every one of these has a little bit of a pro and a con. I will say, as an instructor, I prefer to work with the student that has no talent and all heart, because that person is going to be there for the long term. They're going to put in the work over years if necessary. The person with all heart and all talent is fun to work with. They are a rare breed. And I've noticed that most students that seem to have that are kind of extremes. Like either they become like pro level at whatever they're doing, or over time they get bored and just kind of walk away. The person with all talent and no heart, I don't love working with that style of student. That's not to say that if you are that style, I'm not trying to diss you or try to say that I wouldn't want to work with you, but I've noticed that the people that have all talent but no heart don't stick with it. And I'm sure you know people like this. I mean, I know people who could have been pro level athletes, but just didn't care to put in the work. Like naturally they were phenomenal, but in terms of what it would require from them, all the accessory stuff and all the headache they'd have to go through, they just didn't bother. So those are the three types that I've seen. And of course there's subtypes. There's you slightly lean this way or slightly lean that way. I know this is very hard and fast rule, but it does kind of give you an idea of which kind of a student, people have a tendency to be. I have always sucked at sports. Always. I've tried so many sports, and every one of them it was just horrible in, with the exception of martial arts. I loved martial arts, and I've grown up around it. And I'm third generation within my association. My grandfather and father started the association that I train under. So I've been around it my whole life. My mother trained as well, so I had that influence on that side. So it's kind of been around my entire life and kind of infused into my life. But if I'm honest with you, I was the student that had all heart and like negative talent. I was not naturally good at it, but I wanted it. One of the hardest kicks that you learn in martial arts is called a stepping side kick. Now, if you've been training for any length of time, you're probably totally fine with it now. But for me, whenever I first learned it, it took me like 6 months to get a okay stepping side kick. Now I can honestly tell you this is my 25th year of training as of this video, and I have to think about messing it up if I'm trying to show a student what not to do. So it does eventually permeate into your life, but I had to work really, really hard to get to that level. Now, I can honestly say that because I had to work so hard and put in so much extra work, it stuck with me. It is embedded into me. So that's where I come from, but that doesn't mean that's where everybody else comes from. And if you have a different experience or the same experience, I would love to hear from you. So go ahead and comment down below and tell me, which kind of student do you think that you are? I'm curious. I think that you can really learn a lot from introspection. And, this is not a humility game. So if you think that you are the kind of student that has all heart and all talent, that's awesome. The more that you can introspect and see yourself, the better you know yourself and the better you know what you have going for you, as well as what hurdles you're going to have to overcome. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys, and thanks for driving with me. Once again, sorry if the video is shaky. I am driving, so I'm doing the best I can, but life. But yeah, have a blessed day, and I will see you next time.